to I've chosen a scenery that is a bit autumnal, and yeah, let's see how it's gonna look like. It's reminds me of you know, ripening berries, and it reminds me of mushrooms, all those things that you can get from the nature when it's autumn. It reminds me of weather when it turns cooler. Reminds me of that smell of a field that has been just plowed. What else does it remind me of? Wind. There's always more wind in the autumn. That's what it reminds me of. There's also lovely colors. Love when there's color in the world. So autumn is my time of year. Depending a bit on where you are in this world, you might get some really, really nice autumnal colors. That happens in places. I've been lucky to see some very, very nice autumnal colors, and I always love them. Very, very nice. There we go. So that is what autumn means for me. You can just put a lot of clothes on and go out when it starts getting cooler. And if you keep moving, you'll still feel fine when you're outside. It doesn't feel that cold. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. There we go. And a bit more brown. There. And the top one as well. That's nice. Looks like a proper sturdy fence. Nothing's gonna fall through that. There we go. Make it a little bit more lively looking. There. And then we're gonna go and do the area that is plowed. So I was just saying that what does autumn mean to me? And it is these fields that have been just plowed. It's those crispy mornings when things start getting colder, you know, when you can start seeing the frost, all those things. That is what I think of when I think of autumn. Colder evenings, all very nice. I like the colors. So many things to like about autumn. There we go. And I think we're also gonna go for the tree. Then we'll have some major parts of this drawing already together. There. Anybody want to say to me what comes to your mind when it's autumn? Anybody out there who wants to comment about autumn? Yeah. Some people like autumn. They like the cold. I'm not really necessarily a person who likes the cold, but I love the colors. I love seeing all the colors of the autumn. Some parts of the world you can see those really, really lovely oranges and reds and all that yellow in the trees. There we go. Hi, hello. You're saying that you like it. That's lovely. Yeah, if you're a friend, yes, please do remind. Or do remember to leave your comments. It's good to get some feedback. What kind of things you like to see? Do you like coloring or do you prefer arts and crafts? I've done some arts and crafts videos. It's always nice to hear what people think. And I sometimes try to do something if there's suggestions. There we go. Yeah, so that is always a valid point. Comments are good. Feedback's good. Yeah. There we go. Let's go for a darker. There. And a little bit more. I wasn't quite sure if this is better as a landscape. The AHA channel said hi. Yes. Hello. It's lovely to have you here. Lovely to have you here. Hope you're having a brilliant day. Yeah, whether it's the end of your day or whether it's the beginning of your day, it's always lovely to have you here. And same goes with everybody else. There we go. We are coloring a tree. Let's do some more branches. There. And some more on the side. Yep. And I have not colored that at all. That one could use some color too. Right. And let's make it so that it looks more even. There. Like that. Yep. There we go. You've got a brown tree. And what else? Next thing could be some green. I feel like putting some green in. We've got this darker green, and then I've got a lighter green. I think the darker green is gonna go here. This tree is one of those trees that has stayed green. When you look at the trees in the autumn, you can really see some trees just go very much into those colors, and others they just stay green. So this one has stayed green. I think with some of the other ones we're gonna make some different colors in them. This particular one, there we go, stands tall and very green. There. And then let's put some more of the green. Yes, what shall we do next? Let's go for these trees back in the background. It's a great way to relax. Yes, you're right. This is a great way to relax also for me. It's nice to nice to just sort of, yeah, just go for it and do some coloring. I don't know how your day has been, but I've actually had quite a nice day. I always love it when I get a lot done, but the day doesn't feel too busy, if you know what I mean. I've had one of those days today, so I am quite a happy bunny. Yep. Me happy bunny. Only thing I just need is a carrot. Then I'll be super happy bunny. There we go. Going for some green. And I think in here, what we're going to do is we're going to put some other colors in. So there's going to be some orange. If I can get any orange out of this pen. There we go. Splashes of orange. There. And some yellow. And also, let's go for some red, although I could do a little bit less red than the other colors. There we go. And then the rest, oh, I was going to do that with an orange. There we go. Yeah, and then some green. There we go. Yeah, very often when you look at these rosa trees in nature, you can just see that there's these areas where you got just green and then suddenly you've got colors just sort of popping out in between. And that's what we've got here. We've got some different colors going. Right. Let's do the blue. So we're going to need to do quite a lot of blue. I'm going to be turning that a little bit. And blue skies. So this day is one of those days when you've got a crispy morning and you go out and you can see how cold it's been overnight, and you can see a little bit of frost, and when the sun starts shining the frost disappears slowly and you can still feel the cold, but what you can see is the bright blue sky. You know what I mean? One of that kind of mornings. Yep. I bet somebody knows what I'm talking about. There we go. So we are having here a bright morning. There we go. Ooh. Although my pen does not seem to be playing ball. There we go. Sorry, my hands are completely on top of what I'm coloring. There we go. Getting to a better area where you guys can see the picture a bit better. There. Got all these birdies flying. Any thoughts on what color to put in the birdies? You could just make them quite dark or quite light. Although this does not necessarily look like a seagull picture. That would be easy, just leave them white. Perhaps some sort of color would be in order. I feel like I have forgotten to put some brown in there. Oops. I think that should be brown. Let's put some brown in. Yep, and let's make that as blue. and there in between as well. There we go. I think that looks more like it should. Feel free to disagree though. There we go. Right. And we've got lovely white clouds just sort of coming from, they're just there in the distance. A little bit of wind. The more you've got wind, the faster they go. There we go. Oops. Like that. Background is almost done. There. And a little bit more. Oops. There we go. There is our blue. Right there. There we go. And then let's go and start coloring some of those. Oops, or let's not. Let's put a little bit more background. It would probably look better if it wasn't just leaves. There we go. Yeah, sometimes you need to be able to see a little bit through your tree. There. There we go. Yes, what was I going to do next? The AHA channel is sending me a lot of emojis and I can't see any of them. Is that cat? Cat in a box. And something else. I think somebody might be saying hi. Thank you. I quite like those emojis. Right, so let's plow on and do some orange leaves here. Flying off. And very often leaves are not just one color. So what I'm going to do is let's do double color. I'm going to put some green. Some of these have turned from green to orange. And I think we're also going to do some brown, because very often, unfortunately, when it doesn't change quite well, then you end up seeing this kind of funny brown. There we go. And let's put a little bit more orange and yellow. We have not used much yellow. Let's support the channel. Oh, thank you very much. Leave your like and subscribe. Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you. There. There we go. We are going yellow. And I think we're also doing a little bit of brown here. Like that. There. Nope. One more. Just one more. Let's make that also yellow. There we go. Everybody can see those leaves a mile away. They are really just floating away. Yeah. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to continue and do some of these leaves that are still on the tree with the same color. So we're going oranges and we're going yellows And what else are we gonna do? Yep, if somebody said brown, that is correct. I think we're gonna need to put some brown on. I think I want to leave something green. What else? What else are we gonna do? Let's put some brown here. There we go. Brown and orange actually look quite nice together. At least I think so. There we go. Let's make something green. Some of them are still sort of thinking we're in the summer. We don't wanna change. Summer is our time. We wanna be green. Yeah. There we go. Let's put some yellow as well. There we go. And some for these small leaves as well. There we go. What are your favorite colors, guys? What is it that you like? What is it that you like? Our channel likes a cat, I think, and a mouse. But what colors do you love? Is there autumnal colors that you really like? I quite like the rusty orange, for example. Got some of these leaves that have a little bit of rusty orange. Quite like them. But there are other colors as well. If I can see a bright yellow or bright red leaf, I really like those. Those are lovely. There. And then these leaves are gonna be turning yellow and orange. It's like maples. If you ever see maple trees when it's autumn, they are so incredibly beautiful. Incredibly beautiful, I think. I've lost my orange. There. Often they sort of end up pulling the green back into the tree, and you end up having these greens that you see in the middle, and then you've got other colors that are on the edges of the leaves, like I've colored here. Blue. Right. Where did you want blue? I have definitely forgotten to put some there. Let's put some there. There in between these. Oops. There. There we go. That does not look very even. Yep. And let's also do the brown that is missing in there. Let's do that brown. There we go. Like that. Right, so now we've added some blue. We've added some brown. And then we still need to put some color in these little leaves here. And let's put some green. some yellow. And what else? Well, I think orange is a must. There we go. There. We've got one very colorful autumnal tree that still needs to have one leaf colored, and we're just going to continue with similar system. There. And then put some oranges at the bottom. There we go. There. Now they all have some color. That feels somehow very yellow. Let's put a little bit of orange in there as well. And there we go. Right. Then let's go and put a little bit of blue there. Sort of in a funny place. A bit too close to the back of the book for me to get there well. But now there is some blue in there. And let's do some green there as well. There we go. And then, okay, top half is pretty much done. And we're going to be moving on to the bottom part of this. So we already have our fields. We already have, what else do we have? We've got our tree. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then just do a little bit more of these fields. Just going to put a even background there. And I think what I will do, I have another green as well. I'll have a few greens. So let's do a little bit darker green at the back, this kind of bluish green. And then make it a bit more into a lighter color. Just a little bit more yellow. Oh, well. Huh. Let's see if that, yeah, no. That pen has decided, no, we're not working today. Okay. I'll give you that. We're not working today. Yep. Let's put a bit of other color here. There we go. This one is working. There. And then, yep. Moving on to the other side, I think. Gonna do a similar color in there. Grass seems to be still growing well. Even that is autumn. There we go. Like that. There. And also in between. There we go. There. There. And then we go on with the lighter colored. Go just as we did before. There. Right. And then we should also tackle these leaves that are here. So, shall we go for similar colors? There we go. There's my orange. Love my orange. There. And where's my yellow? There's my yellow. Going also for yellows. There's oranges and yellows. There we go. And a little bit of brown. Just put a little bit of brown in the end there. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, this is looking very, very autumnal, isn't it? Right. But even though it's autumn, we've got a couple of flowers here in the corner. And I was just wondering how to color them. It looks like they are still very much in flower. In bloom, I think is the right way of saying it. They're still very much in bloom, even that it's turning into winter. And I'm wondering what color to choose for them. Any suggestions? What kind of colors would you like these flowers to have? You can figure out what to put this in. There we go. Right, just a little bit more, and then we have a path that is done. There. Yep. Path is almost ready now. There. Looks lovely. It's something that I would like to be walking. I would like to be on this road. You know, a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of falling leaves. That would be lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, so then it's figuring out what colors to put. I think nobody has suggested any colors, what to go for with those flowers. So I'll give you guys a little bit more time, just in case somebody's thinking. And I'm gonna then just start coloring some of these leaves that are on the floor, because they also could use some color. Yep. Again, let's go oranges. Oranges, oranges. Let's not put them everywhere though. I think some of these need to be, let's put some green in the middle. Yep, there we go. Then let's put some orange. There we go. Do some oranges and yellows only. Couple of leaves like that. There we go. And I think our autumnal picture is sort of starting to come together. It's lovely to see these leaves here. You have these little grassy parts to still make. There we go. All the leaves that have fallen down. Yes, and we do have that. Yeah, area there as well. And I think what I will do, I will do a similar thing that I've done there. Let's add a little bit more color here. Yep. There. There we go. And let's get a little bit of that lighter green in as well. Right. Just everybody waiting to see what color we're going to choose for the corner. Take a look at what you've said, if anybody said anything. Okay, can't see any suggestions for that color, so we shall go for eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We could go for dark blue, a bit of yellow in the middle. Let's make one of them dark blue and then decide if you want to continue. So there's dark yellow, and here comes dark blue. There we go. So we've got yellow and blue. Could use a different color for another one. We just have this one big blue flower here. There. Oh, and if everybody wants to know, these colors are Faber-Castell. Not all of them, but some. And you can sort of see the difference when I'm coloring with these ones. They are better quality than the other ones. The result ends up somehow being much smoother. And yes, this is lovely. Lovely to be using these. There we go. So we've got one blue flower, very blue flower. And what else shall we do? I feel like putting some proper red in there. I have not put red yet. Put other colors, but not red. Let's just do a brownish greenish stem for it. There we go. And then go red. Proper red for this flower. And there we go. There. Oh dear. Right. Okay, well, it's good that it lasted this far. Okay, yes, I'm not going to be able to color that corner with it. There we go. Right. Luckily, it lasted that far. So we've got one very red flower there. And I think what I will do is I will make another blue there. Same type of flower, and it gets the same color. There we go. This is one of my favorite blues. I quite like blue color. I would like to have also lilac or purple from Faber-Castell. I don't have one at the moment. I think that would look lovely and vibrant too. blue flower. Right. And then it's catching up with the green. Yeah. More green to this picture. There we go. Not much to go in the picture anymore. We've done most of it. There we go. I think some of these, let's make them proper green. The autumn hasn't really had any effect on some of these yet. Making them proper powerful, very green and vibrant. Yep, there we go. Let's do some of these as well. Always lovely to have something that's sort of popping out of the picture. Yep, like proper color. There we go. And a little bit more of this proper green. There we go. Like that. Yep. There we go. Shall we put a little bit more, or shall we continue with the lighter green? I think some lighter green would be good as well. There we go. Green, yellowish. And what I'll do is, no, that requires some brown, I think. There we go. Got the tree in the background that I have not fully colored. There we go. There. And I think some of these lighter greens, let's put some brown in them as well. There we go. That one, darker green. And here's some lighter green. Yep. There we go. Making everything green now. There. Some in-betweeners. A bit darker, but not quite. Uneven autumn colors. There we go. And then let's do the same to the other side. Yep. There we go. Also some darker green here. There we go. There, just above, in the autumn. Yeah, it's lovely to be walking, lovely to be enjoying the weather. We've got a bright day. It's the kind of walk that you go for a walk and then it feels a bit cold. Doesn't feel too cold though, but when you come back, maybe you want some hot chocolate for yourself. You know, that sort of a weather. There we go. Yep. Anybody with me on that? It's hot chocolate weather in this picture. Or a cup of tea, cup of coffee. What would you choose to drink? After coming home and walking in a place like this. Yep. There we go. And shall we also put some lighter green on this side, if it still works? There we go, it does. There we go. Okay, we've pretty much got our autumn scene ready. Just going to put a little bit more colour on that side. And another one. There we go. So, I'll show you the whole picture. It's migrated a bit upwards. What do you think? Does that look like the kind of place where you would like to go for a walk? Yeah, I definitely would. And I hope we get some of this kind of nice weather this autumn so that we can go out for walks and enjoy it. I hope you have enjoyed here with me today. I've definitely enjoyed coloring with you. If you like, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again. Thank you for being here. Bye.